Welcome to FTC's Ecom Education Vlog. My name is Catherine. I'm an office administrator here at Aventus.
Partnering with the right call center is critical because it's likely the only physical real-time contact your customers will have with your brand. Unfortunately, you don't have the time or resources to run your online business and build out a high-functioning call center. That is why so many successful online and traditional businesses partner with boutique domestic BPOs to engage their customers. Follow these 8 steps when partnering with a call center to achieve consistent, high-quality user experience that will differentiate your business. Step 1. Create a culture of trust. For your feedback to be successful, your customer service account manager and your internal auditing team must be on the same page. Before beginning, examine your company's core values as well as the values of the team you're using to communicate on behalf of your brand to the whole world. How do they influence your culture and guide behavior? Are team members focused on other successes as well as their own? Is your account manager rewarded for helping your business grow professionally? In a recent study by Paul J. Zak, Harvard researcher, he discovered that compared with people at low-trust companies, people at high-trust companies report 74% less stress and 40% less burnout. High-quality support starts with high-quality employees, so creating a culture of trust is key to any outsourced customer service model. Step 2. Define quality. Including your new team in conversations that define quality creates a shared understanding. Use real-life call examples to generate discussion. For example, if everyone agrees that empathy and listening are important, how do call responses demonstrate empathy and listening? If a customer shares an experience or an emotion, does the team member responding to the customer reflect that emotion? Does the team member create a rapport with the customer? Step 3. Create rubrics and determine benchmarks. Create rubrics and weight the criteria according to your values. If you have decided in steps 1 and 2 that professionalism is important, add this to your rubric. Determine if it is more important than correctness or empathy, for example. Rubrics work best when there are no more than 4 to 5 criteria. Some of the best rubrics we see include correctness. Is the response correct? Completeness. Did the team member answer the customer's questions? Empathy. Did the team member personalize their response and acknowledge the customer's feelings? And professionalism. Did the team member demonstrate good email etiquette? Find a range of customer responses that you can use as benchmarks. As a group, evaluate the responses based on the rubric you created. This benchmarking exercise generates a second discussion of quality and gives team members practice using the rubric. Step 4. Make your team reflect on their own customer responses. Research in the fields of business and education has demonstrated the importance of reflection and learning. In her article, Why You Should Make Time for Self-Reflection, Even If You Hate Doing It, Jennifer Porter asserts that reflection allows us to pause, sort through all of our experiences and observations, and create meaning, which then becomes learning. Researchers found that call centers demonstrated that employees who spent 15 minutes at the end of each day reflecting about lessons learned performed 23% better after 10 days than those who did not reflect. Making time for reflection in the peer review process prepares team members to learn. Step 5. Make sure your account manager trains your team on how to provide feedback. Make sure your account manager knows what good, effective feedback looks like, sharing specific examples. Good feedback should focus on what their team member did, what the effect was, and what steps they could take next. Feedback should be specific and, in the case of criticism, it should include suggestions for improvement. Here's a couple of examples. When you told the customer that they were having an issue, they immediately became defensive. Next time, consider placing the blame on the device rather than the customer, which diffuses the situation. When you share your personal experience with the customer, you reduce the tension. Great work. Step 6. Begin your review and share feedback. You or your own quality assurance team should be proactive in defining quality and giving your contact center the opportunity to reflect on their own responses. By doing this, we avoid surprises in the feedback process. Team members know how their calls will be evaluated beforehand. Once your review process is done, it's best to make sure your team is afforded a second opportunity for reflection that captures what they learned during the peer review process. How did the call center's self-assessment compare to your assessment? Use this reflection to guide goal setting as well as training. For Optimax, a prototype optics manufacturer with revenues of $30 million, The answer is team-based performance reviews. They avoid potential pitfalls by giving the reviewers clear guidelines and by contrasting the employee's self-review with peer reviews so they can compare self-perception with team perception. That also helps the reviewers to stay objective in the process. They act as coaches, relaying information. Step 7. Provide training based on the results of the review. It may seem like common sense, but I can't tell you how many contact centers drop the ball on this. Use your feedback to train and retrain your call center team. Tying their training to your review process demonstrates the relevancy of the quality assurance process. Collecting data enables you to offer training opportunities to a whole team if, for example, we see patterns that indicate that more training is needed on the etiquette. Alternatively, individual team members can pursue training to strengthen specific areas based on feedback from their peers. Tracking this data over time demonstrates growth for both teams and individuals.
In conclusion, remember to repeat steps 4 through 7 as often as possible. You're creating your own well-oiled customer service machine. You'll find that by doing this, that you're consulting your rubrics and your benchmark standards that you already created less and less often. While NPS ratings might be great, rubrics, it doesn't really answer the ultimate question that you as an entrepreneur need to answer. Is your customer service up to your business's standards? By partnering with the right customer contact firm and by holding them accountable in the right way, you're going to keep these bells ringing and your customers happy all the time. Thank you so much for joining Aventus today at FTC University. We're really happy to have you and share some of our knowledge with you.